What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Resident Evil. Oh, bro, they just announced Resident Evil 4 Remake. So, and it came with a trailer too. We about to check that out. We about to see what this got, because I gotta see this. I got to, because this game, I beat Resident Evil 4 literally so many times, and it's one of those games that you can continue playing. But yeah, let's see what they got, man. This was also, just for context, this was a part of the state of play. So, and I think they announced something about Resident Evil Village being VR, but I don't care about that. I don't care about this. Three 24. March 24th, 2023. Four.
Condor One to Roost. I've located Baby Eagle.
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
Lewis? There you go.
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
Sattler! Oh, it's about to be good. It's about to be good. Oh, wait a minute.
If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain. Even for a second. This time, it can be different. It has to.
Oh, I gotta see more. Oh no. Man, I have to see more. Resident Evil 4. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time, because they ported Resident Evil 4 so many times. But if I was correct, as my knowledge as a Resident Evil connoisseur, as a person that's a big fan of Resident Evil, if I remember correctly, it was Code Veronica, right? And then we went years, because I think Code Veronica was like 1999, 2000, something like that. And then we wouldn't get another Resident Evil until 2004, Resident Evil 4. I remember correctly, it came out originally. The original version of this game was for GameCube, and that's why I was asked. That's why I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't remember if the original version. Like 95% sure the original version was for the GameCube. 98, because I remember playing it on the GameCube. I do remember that much. You know what? Was it 2004 or 2005? The reason why the reason why I say that to myself is because I played it in 2005. I know that for a fact, because I remember I lived in these apartments I lived in 2005, and I remember playing them. I remember playing it on my GameCube. But yeah, it's like 2004, 2005, something like that. And I'm pretty sure it was the original. I think it was like the whole thing was Nintendo wanted some edgier games for their system, and originally, Resident Evil 4 was going to be console exclusive to the GameCube, and I remember they were saying that as the lifespan of that went on, it got so popular. Resident Evil 4 became so popular because it breathed new life into the franchise that that became a little bit stale because it was gone for so long. Remember, this is like 2004, 2005, and the last game that came out before that was Code Veronica, and that was back, like I said, that was back in, back in 90, I think that was 99, 2000. And then I know they came out, because there was two different, if you don't know, there was two different versions of Code Veronica. When Resident Evil Code Veronica came out, it was just called that. That was the original version. The original one was just called Resident Evil Code Veronica. And then the second version became Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Yeah, Code Veronica X. And I remember there was two. I remember that because I think Code Veronica. It was either I'll take it back. Resident Evil 4 was the first Resident Evil game I beat. Yes. Resident Evil 4 was the first Resident Evil game I beat. And then I enjoyed it so much because we had Resident Evil 2. I had it for the 64. And it was my brother's game that he gave to me because he didn't have, the 64 was mine, but my brother brought Resident Evil 2. But, he had beat it, whatever, and he was just like, whatever, it's yours. I don't have a 64. You had the 64, so it's yours. Do whatever you want with it. So then I was like, okay. Because I remember, I knew that much. I knew the guy that you play as, Leon, in Resident Evil 4 was the dude that you play as in Resident Evil 2. So I'm like, okay. Because that's how much, before that my knowledge of Resident Evil was that I knew the characters. I knew, like, the main characters you play as in Resident Evil was Chris and Jill. Resident Evil 2 was Leon and Claire. Resident Evil 3 was Jill. Code Veronica was Claire and Steve. And, so forth, so forth. But it wasn't until I played Resident Evil 4 that I decided to go back. So I went back and beat part 1. I beat part 2. I went back and beat 2, then 1, then 3, then 0. It was weird. It was in those orders. Like, I beat 4, then I went back and beat 2, then I beat 1, then I beat 3, then 0, then Code Veronica X. And then I started beating the Outbreak games, and it was from there on my love for Resident Evil just soared to new heights, and I appreciated it more than I did when I was a kid. Because back then I was just like, I want to play Mario games and all the Sonic games, all this type of stuff. And as I got older, then it became still those games, and then I incorporated like Mortal Kombat more. I love Mortal Kombat actually. It was also Mortal Kombat. Well, Mario, Sonic, Mortal Kombat. But then I started incorporating Resident Evil and all these other shooters and all this other. Then my library of games became just so expansive. But I rambled on long enough. I'm sorry. The nostalgia of Resident Evil 4 got me thinking about all the old things I used to do. That's what happens when you get old. You start thinking about all the things you did in yesteryear. But if you enjoyed this video or this reaction, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my Season 2 reactions. And if you enjoyed this video so much more, support the channel. All you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, also hit that thanks button. And if you want to see my full episode reactions to some of your favorite shows, hit that join button. And they will be up there in the members area. And as always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. Don't go anywhere because I'm coming right back at you with another reaction. So stay tuned. See you in the next video. Peace.